There's a local superstition warning people not to go up Mount Hikami after dusk. If you climb the mountain in the twilight hours, it'll show you a different form. Its true form.
We're finally here, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally here, Fatal Frame 5. Who would have thought? Not me. It took a while, but my expectation of this game is completely different than I thought I would have initially. Because all the stuff I was hearing out of context, it just seemed like Miku wanted her brother's magical juice. And while it is that, it's not only that. Besides slandering Miku's characters to the 7 pits of hell, this game was actually pretty decent. Heck, this title made me more excited for a sequel title and not a remake because of what type of ghosts I encountered. Let's start now because I have a lot to say. The prologue. You play as Miu, and you get a little text about Mount Hikami and people disappearing, and when you start the game, you immediately get attacked by a bunch of spirits. I gotta say, I like this intro a lot. It's like Resident Evil 2, when you start and the city's on fire and zombies are everywhere. I appreciate this because this is the 5th title of Fatal Frame, so they know what's up, you know what's up, let's shake things up. Like, I like it a lot. Usually these games have a slow start with more atmosphere, but this is like, hey, you're in this hell, get out. I also noticed that the moment you're out of the water, your movement option, like running, is immediately faster than the one in Lunar Eclipse. Thank gosh. I don't know if it's just me, but like, I have 2 big reasons not to run away. Unfortunately, Miu doesn't have a chance because after seeing an actually scary ghost, you get cornered inside this room, with this black box sort of waiting for you. First drop, a vanishing trace. We play as Yuri, our protagonist for this story, and the game makes it very clear that she's dealing with her own issues.
I will end it all. Alone.
Yuri?
Huh?
Yuri's outside being taught by Haruka. Holy damn!
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
She is 23 as well. Why can't we have Fatal Frame baddies like this as protagonists instead of high school children? Regardless, I must stay focused, and Hisoka's out here teaching Yuri how to use her shadow reading abilities for the first time in the case. I don't know how different it is to being sensitive to spirit stuff, but people go to them to find spirited away people or missing objects. You get taught how to use the camera of Obscura, and you see that the photo mode's UI is a bit different. There's no more camera borders around. You get to see more. It's a welcome change. Just want to point out that I had to take a picture of her. I wasn't being a freak. The game told me to do it. Also, the photo mode is back, and you know, like the usual, they kept the jiggle in, which is a good welcome change, I guess. I don't really know if they added more things to it. I have no clue, but I guess it's here to stay now in the franchise. Forget you saw that. While exploring the abandoned hot springs, you encounter a ghost who makes himself known. It seems like he drowned in a puddle of water. I'm not really sure actually, but he comes to scare Yuri. After that little trick, you find a book that you came looking for. Haruka says it's about to get dark soon and it's time to leave, but then I get really scared.
Yuri, searching for objects like we did just now might be easy, but searching for people is much more difficult. Psychometry allows you to see the psychic imprint as a shadow. Never follow after the shadow of someone who has been spirited away. You might end up seeing something you wish you hadn't.
Even with Hoshoka's infinite wisdom, I decided to go chase after it anyways. Okay. Not my proudest moment, but she wasn't following me inside that room. She was across the corridor as you saw. Why is she hyping up the ghosts and not following them and then scares me like that? Come on. Regardless, the spirit comes back and he's like a tutorial. They teach you how to play, how to attack, how to move with it, and that's pretty much it. Yuri's pretty scared and Haruka blames herself for bringing her here. Second drop, Mount Hikami. We play as Yuri again, and this is gonna be the level we're gonna visit quite a lot. Yuri lives with Haruka, and Haruka owns an antique shop, and it's pretty nice, I gotta say. People come in, ask, and tell them that this person is missing, and they'll go try to find them.
My name is Fuyuhi Himino. I've been waiting for her to tell me if she could help me find someone.
Unfortunately, Haruka wasn't here, so she decided to leave and go find her friend by herself. I'm really happy they let us roam around the house because I really enjoyed the house section in Fatal Frame 3. While not a lot would happen in the house sometimes, it's just, I enjoy that. You get to see aspects of these characters' lives, their day-to-day life. It's just enjoyable to me. Look, I don't live in Japan, so I don't know how the housing market is over there, but man, if this is a reasonable price, that's a steal, man. It's so big, it's damn. I would love to live here, not gonna lie. We find a letter that Himino wrote for Haruka, and it seems that Haruka was already on the case. That's the reason she's not in the building. Unfortunately, her friend is kinda in a hurry to find her friend, so she goes straight to Mount Hikami. It worries Yuri, so we chase after her. I gotta say, I really enjoy being outside because Massive Lunar Eclipse was so claustrophobic, this feels refreshing. What's not so good is that there's animation when you pick up items again, and the ghost hand is back, but there's no audio cue, making it more annoying than usual. Not gonna lie, while running up here, I really did not expect that. As we proceed, we find the camera of Obscura, and it's the same one we had from Ahsoka in the abandoned place. It comes with a few upgrades like the stun lens and the switch. This confirms us that Ahsoka is somewhere in Mount Hikami. It's just the question is where. We also get immediately attacked by 3 spirits, and I gotta say that I like how there's a lot of them so early in this game. That's really cool. We find Fuyuhi again, and she kinda like trauma dumps us as how her and her friend tried to take their own lives together, but it didn't work, and her best friend survived. Yuri's still baffled about this, but she still tries to bring her down the mountain safely. But since I'm playing, obviously, I'm gonna use her as bait for the ghosts, and then protect her. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels pretty cute and adorable seeing her just stay there clueless while I defend her with my camera of Obscura. Unfortunately, like every damn game, the escort you're like bringing gonna wander off somewhere else, and then I get jumped by little kids. They do wander a lot around you, but it's pretty fun trying to get them together and take a big shot to do more damage. We find her again and she's just staring at a wall, so we drag her back with us. While going down the mountain, we find a pendant that belongs to Haruka, and we get a vision with our shadow reading ability what happened to her, and it's not good. I don't know how long was the vision, but we already lost Yuhi. We find her again, but it seems like she let the voices win, because she takes a machete and, well, she starts playing with it, quote unquote. And I gotta say, she becomes quite the terrifying enemy. I don't think there was a single lunar eclipse ghost that was bloody. I believe this boss is pretty cool because when she runs towards you with the machete, her movement is pretty exaggerated. I like it a lot. She even tries to bait you to get closer by turning back to normal with no blood on her clothing. But if she sees it doesn't work, she'll try to yoink you from a distance. I was kinda worried when she started doing a sort of a kill animation because I thought it would hit me one shot and make me have a game over, but no, she just starts teleporting all over the place. Once you defeat the spirit or weaken them enough, you get to touch them. A bit like Lunar Eclipse when you get to see the other human characters, but this time when you touch a ghost, you get the fatal glance and get to see their past or how they died. You get the idea. I had to censor that bit because I don't know if YouTube will like that, but it's more engaging than picking up a file. Regardless, we see the culprit of this vision, a shrine maiden. She seems to be responsible for making her do that, though we engage in combat with her as well. This bird comes with its own mechanic. Since she's a maiden of the black water, when she'll attack you, she can maybe taint you if you're fully wet. You see the flower at the bottom of the screen? It starts as a seed, and if you're wet by rain, falling in the water, or a certain spirit attacks you, it'll bloom into a flower. And if they are tainted, they can give you a debuff that drains your health completely slowly. Only the purifying embers can take it off. Regardless, the first encounter with her wasn't too rough. She didn't really do much, but I gotta say she's very beautiful, damn. If you touch her, you'll see that she used to chase after the civilian on Mount Hikami. I don't know why the reason, but if we were together, I would sacrifice my life and let her get to me because I can handle all that. Regardless, Yuri has overstayed her welcome on Mount Hikami and decides to leave and come back when she'll be more prepared. Third drop, Postmortem photography. This time we're playing our male protagonist, Ren, with his lovely assistant, I can't tell if it's a boy or a girl, but don't worry, this was the point of this character anyway, so I'll tell you later. Regardless, Ren and his assistant Ri are looking at the album that Ashoka got for them. Ren seems pretty attached to this and has some deeper connection with it and decides to go back to the inn to find a bit more stuff, I guess. This is not really important, but I just wanted to show this guy balding real quick. I hope you enjoy.
I think that's the inn where the album was found. This must be Ichiru Manor. So, do you think you'll be able to use the camera obscura?
Unfortunately, Ren does have a cracked flashlight like Joshiro, but he has a camera obscura that can take quadruple shots. The building has not really a lot of things worth mentioning, but I do have to say I really scared myself here. Ooh! Not my finest moment, but it does happen sometimes. We do pick up a messy note about the inn owner complaining about how the mountain destroyed his inn. I think he liked the inn a lot because he's already thinking about ending it. I don't know if I can show this, but he has a gentleman tie around his neck, you know, ready for any situation that may occur. Besides the landslide that destroyed a bit of the inn, he talks about how his father was spirited away and that if he disappears, no one will care. We then engage in ghost combat with him and I'm such a child because this got me laughing a bit. Why you gotta do this guy dirty? Anyways, he doesn't really do much, he's pretty weak, all he does is grabs, and when you pick up his messy notes, he mentions the shrine maiden he defeated in the previous chapter. How he didn't want to go out alone, he wanted the shrine maiden to ease his transition to the other world. That guy was so popular, even the girls wanted to match his tie. But as you can guess, Mount Hikami is pretty dangerous and people only go there if they want to take their life. We finally find the photograph we were looking for, but this place is trying to get to Ruri, and she finds a gentleman tie as well. And you gotta remember, drip is forever, so she picks it up, of course. Your culprit is the girl we saw earlier, the fan of the first guy's tie. She's trying to put it on Ruri because she wants more people to follow the drip. As a fight, she's not really that tough, all she does is hang around, and that's really it. But I do like that she's just staying here in the middle of the fight, like contemplating if I should wear this tie or not. Once you save your assistant, a shrine maiden will appear to attack you, and I gotta appreciate how they ore farm in the mist. She does have one thing she does new here, but I gotta say that I was waiting for her to attack and I was getting distracted for some reason. I really wonder why. I just can't put my finger into it. I mean, whatever. There's something telling me the Dead or Alive team helped up on development on this game, but I can't put my finger why I think like this. Once you beat the Shrine Maiden, you pick up a messy note from the inn owner. Apparently his father came home wet and seems like he was possessed and then disappeared moments later, and the folklorist as well. The road to his house completely vanished, which I think is really sick by the way, but we decided to get off the mountain and get the help of Yuri to find some information on the folklorist. Board drop, spirited away. We play as Yuri again. Since we failed saving the other chick because she wanted to wander off on her own too many times, maybe we can save Haruka. Finding her might lead us to Hoshoka because she came on this mountain for that reason. And I refuse to abandon the baddie. Also, with the spirit points I gained, I decided to get some goth drip on Yuri. It looks pretty cool, I like the witch hat, it's pretty cute. Using Yuri's shadow reading abilities to find traces of Haruka led to me getting beat the bricks off me. Like, I don't even know what was going on. These three ghosts were just putting up a strong fight. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't take damage like this since Fatal Frame 1. Sometimes I get hit here and there in these other games, but damn, they were pushing me. It won't last long because no game came close to Fatal Frame 1 difficulty, but still. We find this bag, or I don't know what it is, but we use the shadow reading ability and find that the guy who was getting chased by that woman earlier isn't so innocent. Like, my man's out here slashing people in their eye hole. Like, it cannot be that serious, like, turn it down a notch. Wait, don't be rash now. Nothing worth mentioning when you fight him, but he does turn completely invisible, which is interesting. And when you hurt him enough, he actually puts himself on fire and rushes towards you, which is really cool. While that guy was really metal, our shadow reading ability leads us to a doll shrine. While spooky, I'm not impressed, because in Fatal Frame 4, Ayako's room filled with dolls did not attack me, so I feel relatively safe. Okay, scratch that last part out, because these dolls are tall as hell. I am still confused why people want these in their home at night, because I would confuse them for real people. We found a secret passage where Haruka went, but we need to find some way to open it.
Oh, you found me.
We find this creepy little girl that's gonna be important later on, and she wants us to play hide and seek with her. If we do, she'll give us the key to open that little lock downstairs. She can also feel Yuri's depression because she understands and knows that she wants to die. Get a little hint where to find the doll. And damn, I don't know what to say actually. But I do gotta say that I'm really happy the dolls are moving around the building now because I was disappointed that it didn't happen in Lunar Eclipse, besides that one goth girl. Like, you don't have to do much, but there's more enemy variety instead of just having ghosts. Like, this is really cool. I find the dolls, quote unquote, but the thing is, I'm trying to capture the image, but it's not working, like, at all not working. Like, I'm not kidding, it took an embarrassing long time until I figured out I had to zoom for it to work, and get the right angle as well. Once you do that, you'll be able to interact with the doll, and you'll fight the kids again. Once you get rid of them, you'll encounter some ghosts in the building, but return to the dollhouse. Be real with me, I know some of y'all would fold to this, I would too. Maybe it's the hair, I wonder. Yeah, it's definitely the hair. Putting the doll back to the shrine makes the girl appear. You get a real cool fight with her, and she uses the dolls as ads during the fight. It even duplicates herself into 3 people, and she runs towards you, hoping you get the wrong one. You gotta angle your camera to get all of them in one shot. It's really cool. While we do defeat her, it won't be the last time we'll see her. We go into the dungeon and find ourselves inside a cavern, and it seems like they boxed Haruka. I guess our journey's over. One of the spirits used a mirror to attract her like a moth into a flame and caged her inside a box and filled it with water. It is a very bad way to go out, I'm telling you. Drowning inside a small box is horrible. But apparently the spirit was either lazy or stupid because he didn't even close the box completely. We get her out, but one of the women that was caged inside the box get out and try to attack us. There's a certain way they float around that makes me feel at ease. I don't know how to explain it. The sound effect is weirdly satisfying. It's like a ballerina in the air with bubbles. Very fast at times, but nothing crazy. Relatively a normal fight. Once you defeat her, Yuri will talk to Haruka and introduce herself, and it's a bit of an awkward exchange. It kind of feels like Kingdom Hearts.
You. I'm Yuri.
Unfortunately, she asks us about Yuri, and we know how she got dealt with, so it's kind of awkward.
For Yuri. Yes, it was.
I want to see her. I need to apologize.
I'm sorry to tell you, but the only way you can apologize to that girl is if you join the club of Gentleman Tai from chapter 3. The good thing is, this girl has more brain cells than her friend. She doesn't run off on her own.
I can hear a song. What's that song?
Oh shucks, now I understand why the other one loved her. They both have the same brain cell, they're all sharing the same one. Regardless, you find the girl who's been baiting them into the lake. A girl who has the same neck problem as for Yuhi. It's just crazy because Haruka's acting like her because she's posing in front of my camera while I'm trying to defend her. Like, I see you trying to get in front of my shot, like move! Regardless, you get to touch the spirit to see what happened to her, and it seems like the Shrine Maiden are the problem, if that wasn't somehow not obvious enough.
You should kill yourself now!
Can't show it, but instead of having the white woman stare and FNAF, we got the Japanese stare. We managed to save Haruka, but she's asking too many questions by Ryuhi. We tell her to rest. Ren leaves with his assistant because we don't need him anymore. Yuri takes a shower with the goofy hat and gets a nightmare, and when we look at the camera footage, apparently Haruka has left with Ryuhi's spirit. And without telling you, you can already tell that she's gonna bring Haruka back to Mount Hikami. We start the 5th drop, the Veiled House, and we play as Ren again. Ren is puzzled a bit, because Ryuhi took her life, and his assistant almost did. Wanting to figure out what's going on, he decided to watch a found footage.
Looks like it's the attic.
Our assistant found some more information about the folklorists who came to the mountain. He was obsessed with a certain cult that used to live there and wanted to go there badly. Then, all of a sudden, we get a call from one of our friends who was looking for a picture for us. The good news is he's getting married. The bad news is that he's possessed and it's all in his head.
Will you die with me?
So we gotta go try to help our friend while trying to locate the house that disappeared in the mist, since that's where he's located in.
I'm just glad to know he's still alive.
Oh, don't worry about that. Let's be honest, it won't be long. We go back to the dollhouse because we need to go to the cavern again, and we see the little girl. And remember when I told you I didn't know the gender of the assistant? Well, the little girl as well, so see, I was a bit confused.
A man at last. You are a man, are you not?
I'm a girl.
Liar.
I am.
I see. In that case, let us play.
Like, I'm not crazy, right? I thought I was getting baited like part 1 Naruto with Haku. Regardless, Ren finds out that she went missing, and we have to play hide and seek again with the kids. Not to find them, but to find Ruri. The first kid wasn't too bad, but he was a sore loser and got a free hit on me. The others aren't worth mentioning, but the last kid was pretty smart to hide in the hole. I respect that. You get more points. We finally find her and we can actually move on with our life. Ren meets the little girl and they have a deeper connection than the game let us think, but I will explain it later because right now, the thing you need to know is that Ren had memories of meeting this girl, but it may or may not be him. The little girl lets us proceed, and the funniest thing happened in the cavern. Ruri was trying to explain something to Ren, but a ghost intervened.
You know, I've been waiting for someone to choose me. I've been waiting.
Well, I don't understand it at all.
The girl, she's been waiting too. For the person with her trophy.
Cannot tell if this was bait to get me killed or something, but I do not mind taking pictures of beautiful women. Sorry, I mean spirit from the underworld, sorry. Of course. If you touch her, you get to see a glimpse of her past, and they shoved her in a black box as well, then threw her in the ocean. I guess the person who was more confident, because after they tossed her in the ocean, it opened after she drowned and not before. We find the Veiled House and we move on accordingly. The phone rings and we answer it, but damn, the married life must be treating this guy well because he cannot even form a sentence. The Phantom Gorilla Grip. But regardless, he's not here. The only thing that remains is the folklorist who disappeared. It seems like this photo has spiritual powers because the bride got our friend and the folklorist to come to this house. We both know she doesn't look like this anymore, so it's catfishing at its finest. The mist comes back and that's no good, and since our friend is not her, we're gonna have to leave. But the folklorist comes back and it seems like his fate was a bit grim. Just like the other girl, he got shoved inside a black Amazon box. Well, this fight is not anything you have to write home about. He did catch me off guard at the beginning because how fast he went. Look, I know you died for PUSSY, but let go of me. Before leaving the house, we touch him to see what happened, and, well, he died of catfishing, obviously.
You end yourself with me. After all this time.
While leaving the house, the game tried to trap me with this box that opened the spirit, and the AI just simply broke because she was just not moving or attacking. Like, I was really confused, and I thought she would attack me while I was opening the door. She didn't. After narrowly and barely escaping the house returns to the mist, and we move on to chapter 6. 6th drop, Immortal Flower. We back again with Yuri. Look, I gotta give respect to Yuri's character because even though she has her internal issues going on, she still goes to the mountain to save people. Yeah, sure, we failed to save Ryuhi, but we saved Haruka, even though she went back walking into the mountain, but now we're here to save Miu. You could argue it's a selfish reason to find clues about Ashoka and what happened to her, but she's still saving these people. I like that. With our shadow reading abilities, we followed traces of Miu, and we come across a note that Miu dropped. It's more about Miku being a deadbeat mom and leaving her when she was a child. Our search leads us to a giant building that looks like a temple of sorts, and I like this place. It kind of reminds me of the structures you would see in Crimson Butterfly. This is the area where Miu disappeared in the prologue. While exploring, we found a spirit that's blind. Unlike Fatal Frame 1 though, she doesn't know where you are exactly and won't dash towards you with impeccable speed. Well, pretty cool, and it's nice nod to the first game having a sort of enemy like that. We see how she lost her eyes when she was alive. She was with the other Shrine Maidens from earlier, and we see the guy again comes back and he just goes on a murdering rage. Even after murdering them, he made sure they don't see him when they come back as demons or spirits, which is a really damn smart move, but you risk to making them look very scary, so I don't know if it's a good idea. And from the flashback we got from the other ghost, well, it didn't work, he's still getting chased. While exploring, we find a black box, but this one looks a bit different from the others. It looked more special, so Yuri assumes that Miu might be inside. We take a picture of it and get a hint of where to go next to open it. This is where I got tainted for the first time, and it drastically took my health, and I was kind of worried for the end of the game. Because like Fatal Frame 3, where the torch became important at near the end, and when you didn't have it, you couldn't see anything and the boss would keep spawning. But it ended up being a non-issue. I ended up in the prologue where Miu was surrounded by the pretty woman. But unlike Miu, I have the camera of Obscura, so we're kinda ready for this. After posing on the final one, we get to see a bit of her past to see what happened in this room or this group. It seems they collectively drowned in the water like Haruka's friends. It do be like that, you know, sometimes it happens. A photo hint leads you to upstairs, and once you go there, you'll fight against a monk who puts flags on the floor and throws fire. Not a hard fight, but the fire did catch me off guard since he throws 3 of them and they kinda circle you around you and hurt you. He even puts a flag on the floor that if you don't break, once he dies, he'll just come back. Really interesting fight. The unfortunate news is I couldn't touch him to know his backstory because he made sure to die very fast before I could touch him. The hint told us to go upstairs, and now the hint is telling us to go to 3 different areas in the location. One that looks like a morgue, one that's a shrine maiden on a boat, and one that looks like a jail cell. When I went to the cemetery or morgue, it wasn't too bad, but the room was pretty small, so it was hard fighting 2 shrine maiden at the same time when they were covering my blind spot. Shrine maiden on the boat wasn't too hard, but I got distracted somehow. I just can't imagine why. Oh my gosh. Regardless, getting the last picture gives us the item we need to open the black box. Once you put inside the shrine, it opens like this roof to have light come inside, and now we can open the box. Once you approach the box, a spirit will appear, and I really like this ghost. They just the dress floating, the watery bubbles around her. Like, it's really cool. Like, I know I already said this, but she's just really cool and fits to the theme of the game with the whole floating and drowning stuff. It's just cool. This time, the box is sealed correctly, but this time, the water is not even filled properly inside the box. Regardless, she must have been in that box for a damn while because it has been like a few days by now. I just wanted to say I changed her drip if it wasn't obvious. She now looks like a white maid, which is pretty cool looking. It's a pretty cute dress. While escorting Miu down the mountain, I encountered plenty of variety of ghosts. We found the 2 ghosts that had a matching tie, and they really tried to force it on me. Defeating the girl who was part of this fan club reveals to us how she joined the group. Apparently a shrine maiden looked at her with a Japanese stare and made her join the club forcefully. While trying to get Miu down the mountain, I heard some interesting noise and turned around and saw a spirit. I thought nothing of it, but please remember this because this is important for me personally. After finding a broken car in the middle of the road, if you inspect it, a ghost with broken legs will come out and attack you. The funny thing is, if you aim at him, you can hear the tires like getting worn out. Like he actually like drifted a bit. Do you know how unlucky you have to be a ghost and only be able to crawl on the ground and not go through walls or fly? Like this is the type of thing that if Danny Phantom was facing you and he would see you crawl towards him, he would just laugh at you. If you touch him, you'll know how he got this car accident, and honestly, he was really unlucky. What? Once you arrive in the tea shop and Miu is safe and sound, when she goes to bed, you have the option to touch her.
Don't you do that again. Ever.
7th drop, Maiden of the Blackwater. We play as Yuri again, and we go back to the mountain, and I gotta say, for the Mountain of Death, we sure get out of luck. And before you say anything about the new drip I acquired, it's not because, you know, goon or beta or something like that. It's just because if I'm gonna be in the water, it's raining, half your clothing is gonna be wet, you might as well wear a swimsuit. It's just logical. If you ever wear tight, wet jeans once in your life, you know that's not comfortable. Oh damn, the clothing are white see-through? Damn, this is gonna be hard to explain, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm looking at this clothing closer, they don't make these clothings the same, huh? Because the goth one, when you wear it, it doesn't get wet like this. This is crazy. Like, I'm not gonna complain, but I'm kinda baffled. Like, what's the point of wearing anything else besides this one if it has this much detail going for it? Regardless of gooner or smart clothing wear, we go back to the mountain since we still need to find Ashoka, and holy damn. I'm clearly talking about the monk here. I'm telling you, I'm not talking about whatever. The monks are back again, and yeah. Look how deep this water is. The clothing I'm wearing is pretty smart for this situation, because the jeans would have been uncomfortable. Am I crazy for this? If there were shorts in this game, I would wear it, but dude, I'm not buying DLC for this game. That costs 20 bucks. I'm not crazy, I'm not go debating, it makes sense here. Once I reach the Twilight Peak, I get greeted by the little kids, but this time they don't attack me, they simply say hi and leave me. It's more what happened after. A shrine minion spawned in front of me and caught me off guard and I got jump scared. Oh my gosh. Besides the occasional shrine maiden, you'll see these spirits with these black box they're carrying on their backs. While not really an issue, you'll encounter him quite a lot in this chapter while you're reaching the top. I also got distracted playing with the photo mode, you know, just checking out some stuff out, checking out how the poses work, and yeah, just saying if it's a good system or not. This chapter is pretty short, but this boss here, this old lady, is the one been putting people inside boxes. If you look directly inside the mirror, well, you'll be hypnotized and you will willingly go inside the Amazon black box. But Yuri was lucky. She woke up before the box could close, so we end up fighting her.
You shall become a pillar as well.
This fight is pretty fun because you start inside the box and you need to hit her with your camera to get out. It's really cool. This old lady can be a little bit tricky because when she shoots out the purple balls, they're very slow, but they can move around quite a lot of distance, and sometimes she can appear behind you. She got me once behind me, and when I was trying to attack her before she can pull out the mirror and put me back inside the box, these purple orbs got me on the ground and did a lot of damage. Once you defeat her, she will force the camera to turn back so you can see a jiggle physics.
A new pillar must be found.
Following the traces of Ahsoka leads us to the top where we encounter the Black Maiden, and we can't fight her because obviously she's too strong for the camera of Obscura. As usual in this series, if we can't fight her, that means she can one-shot us clean, so we gotta run the heck away down the mountain. The 8th drop, the Witching Hour. We play as Ren again, and the gameplay changes a bit. Since we're inside the home again, we're playing this like Five Nights at Freddy. Because in this chapter it's a little bit different. We play as Ren, but all the girls fall into a deep sleep besides Rue and Ren. And we need to protect them from the spirits arriving at the house. And when I say we, I meant only Ren, because Rui falls asleep immediately after looking at the camera. I like this a lot because this is fairly simple. If there's something wrong with the room, it'll start having static, or if you see a ghost, go in the room, defeat it before it harms the girls. There really wasn't anything like this in the series, so I think this is pretty fun to have. We go in Yuri's room and we see Ryuhi again. This girl never learns her lesson. Can you just move on? We pick up Yuri's notebook and I gotta say I feel very bad for Yuri because every time she opens her eyes and like doing her day-to-day life, she gets to see dead people with missing faces, eyes, and body parts or just look creepy. And having that in real life, I would hate it too, so I feel bad for her. We also see Haruka in one of the rooms, and I completely forgot she got kidnapped and brought back to the mountain. Apparently she's dead if we're seeing her as a ghost in the camera, so too bad for her I guess. But she does go to Miu's room and starts playing with the camera. I go inside the room and well, she's gone, so she kinda baits you because when she comes back there's a spirit waiting for you. Once you go back to the computer, you see a bunch of spirit enter the shop like if they own the place. We go to the front hall and make sure they are greeted properly. And once you go back to the camera room, you will fall into a deep sleep, and while you were sleeping, Yuri and your assistant get captured and brought back to the mountain. Hoping to repay the favor and find her deadbeat mother, she decides to go to the mountain to go find them, borrowing Yuri's camera of Obscura. With that, we start the 9th drop, the Sacred Casket. We play as Miu. And like every character in this game, she uses the camera of Obscura, but this time, her ability is to slow down time a bit. Nothing really game changer, but it made me think about Miku, her mother. She could have at least left a camera for her, like her old camera of Obscura, instead of leaving her nothing. In this chapter, we're mostly walking the same places like in chapter 7, but this time we kinda chase a bit after her mother's spirit. But this doesn't last long because we reach a roadblock and we have a note from Miku herself saying, "I'm sorry." Sorry, that's not gonna cut it. But yeah, this chapter is fairly short because it's just chapter 7 but you're playing a different character. Once you find Yuri, you can still see she's being possessed because she's walking straight to the ocean. Once she gets grabbed and hugged by Miu, it kinda reminds her of Hisoka. And while they're reunited, they can't really enjoy the moment because the Black Maiden appears to take their life. And you know the drill, when she appears we gotta dip, we gotta run very fast. But the thing I find very funny is the way Yuri runs, like she was really scared of dying. Like, you're doing way too much, my friend. Unfortunately, I got a game over her because I ran into her. I do have to say, they have good dialogue here on the train when you're leaving the mountain, about being scared and seeing the unseen. Tenth drop, Ghost Marriage. We play as Ren and we gotta find the assistant. And we go back to the Veil house, but before that I have to say I encountered the most terrifying ghost in this franchise. Like, I wanna know why she's so damn tall. I know it's the legend Hachishakusama or whatever, but this is terrifying for this type of game. Because mostly everything you fight in this game is mostly humans. So to have this legend or urban myth come out of nowhere and greet me like this is pretty damn good. Regardless, as we enter the Veiled house, we see Kazuya, the guy who's getting married to the Black Maiden. As we follow his traces, it leads us upstairs and is she freaking peeking? She's peeking upstairs, bro. She's so tall, we can see her upstairs. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm more worried she pulls me outside the window and just ends me there. We need to hurry up. Like the usual, we find Ruri, but this time she's in a black box, and it seems like someone did not do their job again because they didn't even fill the box, and there's no ocean, they just placed her in this house. But maybe I'm wrong because she's still possessed and drags us inside the box, which brings us to another area. We still follow Kazuya's traces, and it's just about him foaming for the girl that we know is an old lady, or a rotten corpse to be exact. We find Ruri again, and she's dressed as a bride. There's a more explanation thing going on, I'll tell you later, but when we go get closer to her, well, the Black Maiden appears and jump scares us. It was a dream again, and you wake up back to the Veiled house, but the mist is coming back, so we need to escape ASAP. Unfortunately, we met Kazuya while escaping, but he seems to be not doing well. Like some of the ghosts, like the guy who got hit by the car, you could hear the wheels turn and spin, but for Kazuya, you can hear his bone crack and piece. Like, it sounds horrible. What they did to him was personal. I really hope you got laid before you turn into a broken freaking toy. Oh, they did my man dirty. That's crazy. With our assistance safe, we can now leave the Veil house. But let me check around to see if that ghost lady not gonna grab me. 11th drop. The Shadowborn. Miu. The first thing we do in this chapter is steal the camera of Obscura from Yuri because she's sleeping in her bed like a little girl. We follow Miku again and it leads us back to the blocked passage we had in the last chapter, but now it's open. Following the road will lead us to a house where there's a black box inside this room. But before we open it, a ghost, well, the old lady comes and attacks us. The cool thing is that you're in the floor. The not so cool thing is you're in a disadvantage right now against this old lady. Because Miu found the cutscene, your silly butt is in the floor, getting chokehold by a lady in her 80s right now. I unplugged her life support before she pulled out the hypnotizing mirror. With that done, we saved Miku from the box. But the thing I'm really disappointed is that it looks like she lost her character development from Fatal Frame 3 because she went to this place willingly to bone her brother to have a ghost child because she misses her brother so much and can't move on. If you remember from the last video, or at least the Fatal Frame 3 video, the brother wanted to stay in the spirit realm to stay with that girl, not with his sister. So why the heck would he change his idea to have a ghost child with his own sister? Miku doesn't surprise me because it's Miku, she's not really the brightest. But her brother? That's mind-boggling to me. Jokes aside, this assassinates Miku's character and her whole development in Fatal Frame 3. Why would they go with this? Like, leave the brother alone, he's the victim in this story. Like, if they really wanted to assassinate the character and bring him for this game, they should bring Rei back. I love her to death, and it would have assassinated her character as well, but it would make sense for them to have a ghost child than the two siblings. Because this ghost marriage thing would have made more sense with Rei because her fiance was dead, not her brother. They really wanted to bring Miku back. Regardless, this is horrible for me in my opinion, and this has just makes the whole thing a lot worse for me. It puts a bad taste in my mouth. Anyways, moving on. Miku looks pretty good in this game. She appears older as well, and for some reason, it looks like she doesn't really care what's going on. She seems not there, like a bit clueless. Like, if you don't see your child ever since she was like 6, you would think she would have tears in her eyes to see her be older and stuff. But no, she seems just like she doesn't care. All she can think of is Mafuyu's juice, that's it. Regardless, getting out of the place is pretty tough because they really do not want you guys to leave. You gotta fight a lot of shrine maidens and spirits. Having Miku next to me makes me a bit more sad because she sees the camera of Obscura in action again, and that doesn't remind her in her first journey in the first game. No, she's not even giving tips about helping her daughter, how to fight these ghosts, nothing. She just stands there looking around. Like, she's so lost in Mafuyu's sauce that she's not even giving tips to help her daughter who her life is in danger. But technically she's a deadbeat mom now, so I guess it doesn't matter what she says, but it just feels like it sucks. It just sucks, man. After they escape, they go to sleep together in the bed. Like, they don't catch up, no nothing. They just go straight to sleep. And honestly, this would have been cute, but with the whole context, this is just horrible. 12th drop. To the other side, Yuri. You gotta remember, we still gotta find Ashoka. Before we leave the shop, Miu questions our action, guessing what we'll do.
あなたはまだ揺れている。行くのか残るのか。
I went to check upstairs to see if she wasn't just pissy because her mother left, but no, she's still sleeping in the bed like a bum. We continue our journey and we head to the place where Miu was captured. Being here revealed to us that Ashoka went to the other side, and to open the gate to go there, you need to take a picture of 2 statues to open it. It is pretty long and there's a lot of fights to do, but once that's done, you're free to go. Once you arrive on the shrine on the water, it's a pretty cool looking place. I really like it. The only issue is that the water slows you down a bit, but it's not too bad because you're not as slow as playing the entirety of Fatal Frame 4, so I'm okay with it. But there's a whole army of Shrine Maiden and it can be very dangerous if you're not careful. As you continue, you'll find a black box, and Hishoka's inside. Don't worry, she's still alive of course, because even though she's been in there for probably a week, she's still alive. He is severely weakened though, which is understandable. You've been on water for like a week, so your hands are probably soggy. Unfortunately, the reason she is weak is because she is a spirit. No, not Ashoka, no! Like the other spirits that float around like that, she'll sometimes dash at you, but this time she has like these blue orbs I'll show throw at you. Nothing really crazy at this point of the game where you kinda have a maxed out camera or soon to be maxed out. If you touch her, you get to see Hisoka's past. It would have been sad, but Hisoka's not dead at all. I don't know what was going on with that ghost form, but it looks like they were just possessing her and she had powers for a small moment. The one thing I'll say is I really like Hisoka and Yuri's relationship. It's like a big sister and a little sister. It's really cute. Even when they go back to the tea shop, it goes back to how they first met and Hisoka saved her life. So I really enjoy this a lot. These two characters can be happy in this moment. They won. The 13th drop, The Dark Sun. We play as Ren and this is actually maybe the best chapter in the game. Everyone is in the shop sleeping peacefully after coming back home. But the mountain needs to get its souls back, so they're coming to the shop by force. The only thing stopping them from getting to the ladies is Ren himself. He needs to protect the house alone today. Again. And I won't let them get my baby girl Hisoka. No, they won't. Realistically, I would wake up Miku, but since she's being a bum and should be carrying this show since she has the most experience, but unfortunately, it will just be Ren. If Ren survives this, that'll make him a GOAT status just like Choshiro. You have no clue how cool he feels like right now. You feel like an action movie. There's many of them because they're overwhelming the shop right now. They're everywhere. And since the shop has mostly corridors and small rooms, it's kinda hard to get away. You're gonna have to time your shots correctly and precisely. Because you'll have to go in each girl's room to make sure they're okay from the spirits. Because sometimes they'll hide and get a cheap hit. Like this little bugger here. He's hiding under Yuri's bed. But that's not the issue though. The issue is when they start messing with me personally. Ooh! I'm sorry for my Crash Bandicoot voice, but they started appearing in places where the camera has a blind spot, so it was getting a little bit stressful. But that's not the issue. The issue is when I saw this woman in my house, I started panicking. No! Bro, they got me stressing in my own house. I pay these bills. My queen Hisoka, please give me strength to fight this day. Fight these demons in my house. But it was a good thing because, well, I was exploring the house to see if she was there and she wasn't. So, we're lucky. We get to live today. And I found something on the floor and, of course, yeah, like the usual. With the house saved, we can now go back to the computer room and... I won't pass away peaceful tonight, am I? Okay, that one was too good. That genuinely was too good. Okay, I need to go see my friend Kazuya tweaking out behind the counter, even though they did that guy dirty in a box. Wait, what? That was the moment. She should have grabbed my lip. And now I'm disappointed. Whatever. That was literally the moment. Did you get rid of Kazuya behind the counter? You're fired now. Since everything failed, they sent out 5 women after Ren, and when you get grabbed by them, they do like a circle around you, ability I never seen throughout the game. A bit clunky to fight them in the building because there's not enough space and they can go through walls and you know, all the finicky stuff. I do find it cool that when they do a circle around you, if you take a picture of one of them, it won't work. You need to take a picture of their hand for it to stop hurting you. After successfully protecting the girls in the house, Ren realizes he's stuck in the genjutsu because he sees himself inside the camera in another room. Once his camera version goes to another room, he sees himself wake up in another place, the place where he found his assistant inside a black box. Entering the room, he sees all the girls wearing bright clothing, including the little girl with white hair in the puppet shrine. This is where Ren realized why they did the rituals on Mount Hikami. Because the mountain acts as a boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead, a place which souls of visitors were returned to the water which they were born. And the shrine maidens are kind of like they use them to seal the black water to not overlap with the world of the living. And using the mycelium keeps it closed. Ghost marriages are better because it makes the seal stronger, and wedded couples, having them die together, it makes it stronger as well, because they believe the water was connected to everything, the living and the dead. Last drop, Bride from Blackwater. This time you'll be playing everyone for this finale. But first you play as Yuri, and she finally wakes up, and the house is completely filled with mist. A simple side effect of having this many ghosts in the house, I guess. I went to visit Ashoka before leaving, but she's having a nightmare about that girl she couldn't save, unfortunately.
I thought I found you, but I'm lost. I thought you could take it, but you fell.
I forgot to mention this, but the reason Yuri could see ghosts is because her parents died from a car accident, leaving her with survivor's guilt. You cannot be kidding me, bro. Let him go! You're with your daughter you haven't seen for years, and this is how you act? Put her in the garbage. Since this is the end, I went to touch Yuri, and it reveals to us that Ren is scared of women, which we know in the beginning as well, but this is why she's dressed as a boy.
Ren is still so scared of women.
This is why throughout Ren's missions, you always gotta look for her because she's like a potential bride for him a bit, in that sense, since she has feeling for him.
I like the ambiguity.
Now you're just toxic. But yeah, this is pretty fun because now you start from the beginning of the level and you can go everywhere you want. You can go pick up items, fight some goals, you can just do whatever. I can go to the final boss immediately if I want to, but I appreciate that type of freedom and giving it to me. Because the first thing I did was trying to film that girl who jumped off the damn waterfall and try to get it in 4K. But she started attacking me, which got me surprised because in the beginning she never attacked you, she would just keep falling repeatedly. And she pulled this move out of nowhere. I'm sorry, I'm out of pocket for filming you trying to, like, end yourself, but you're bugging. I was very curious to see why she jumped, but after 52 minutes in this video, I think you can guess who made her do it. As much as I joke about the Shrine Maiden, about, you know, telling people to go sleep forever, it's kinda sad their responsibility they have.
Blade. It's calling for you.
Such a lovely, quiet spot. I like it here. This is where I'll live.
Like, it's really interesting, and the fact I can see more with the Fatal Glance is even better.
I shall follow you into the next life one day, and I shall take your final thoughts, your feelings with me. All is connected by water. The soul dissolves, and it too returns to the water.
And I do really like that, because it reminds me of the Tattoo Maiden from Fatal Frame 3, the final boss. It's really nice. Before you reach the entrance, you'll fight 3 monks, and if you don't shoot them immediately as you see them, it can be a bit difficult, because if you don't beat them at the same time, it will keep coming back up. We'll then play as Ren, and he's been having a dream about the creator of the Camera of Obscura. The funny thing is, the creator of the Camera of Obscura is his ancestor, so he's been having his memories a bit. Our buddy here, Dr. Asu, was in love with the Black Maiden, and was also a childhood friend with the little girl with white hair. This is why when they see Ren, they mistake him for Dr. Asu.
私は待ってください。
Yes, you're not going crazy. Sometimes I switch it to English because it sounds funny, and sometimes I switch it to Japanese because it sounds better. Besides that, Ren's whole thing is that he's gonna start following his ancestor's shadow trail to the mountain. And that's pretty much it, while Yuri goes to the water temple to go face the final boss. I still gotta say, this is my favorite enemy, man. It sounds satisfying. It's like she's floating in the water at peace. And I think that was the goal. We encounter Twin Rova again, and since they were running the place, they will try to stop us one last time. Not a hard fight, as long as you deal with their projectile, it is pretty easy. It's just that sometimes they can be a bit tricky. Once they were defeated, I was a bit curious to see how this ended badly, and like the usual, the ritual failed. We didn't play as Miu, and surprise surprise, Miku went back to the mountain. Funny enough, there's a camera obscura laying on the bed, and it's not Miku's because it's a different design, and Yuri's already in the mountain with one, so I don't know where this one came from, but the guy made a bunch. Oh, but don't worry, Miku left us a picture of Mifuyu. Surprise, surprise. Look at this girl, walking out of the store with no responsibility in the world, bro, no care. This is where things could change for the better or for the worse in the endings. With Miu, if you take a picture of Miku while she's yapping about her brother for the 7th time, you'll get the good ending. If you don't take a picture of her while she's yapping about her brother, you'll get the bad ending. Miu then decides to follow her mother. While Ren has 4 endings if he chooses the bride or the little girl. He has a good ending with the bride or the bad ending with her, and same thing for the little kid. And he's not marrying the little kid, just to be clarified, he just makes her, you know, go back to heaven or whatever. Man, imagine they did put that in the story though. We already have interest in this story, so imagine, it would have been horrible. Regardless, you're gonna have to choose between the photo of the bride or the bundle of white hair. You basically choose who you want to pacify to move on in the afterlife. I decided to pick the child because I believe the bride was an adult and made her own choices in life, but she was born and was immediately decided to be a sacrifice, so I want her to move on. The choices will affect depending how you play out the boss fight. If you beat her, well, you get the bad one, and if you let her grab you, you get the good ending. The thing I like about this ending compared to the bad one, instead of just beating her and she moves on, she kinda realized the arrows on her ways by herself. Since she's a pillar, she'll live forever as a ghost or whatever, but she realized that you will die one day, and that will be it, and she finds beauty in that and lets you go.
私は死ぬことはできない。ずっと柱のまま。でも、お前は死ね。ゆっくり、ゆっくり死ね。
Well, we go back to Miu, and she admits to Miku that she hated her for the longest time, but she understands her pain. And if you took the picture of Miku while she was yapping about Mifuyu, she'll beg Miku not to leave her. And at the end, she won't. If you don't take a picture, well, Miku won't be in the bed. It'll just disappear or, I don't know, start jumping on Mifuyu's. Regardless, no more incest babies, no more brides, it's time for the final boss. And the build up towards it. This alone looks really damn cool. Like, she's so damn cool. You gotta say, out of all the final bosses in Fatal Frame, she is definitely the ore farming queen. Look at her! Such a cool shot for a series like this. Her first phase ain't too difficult. She has a lot of ghosts surrounding her, but they're a bit weakened, and when you take a shot of them, they disappear. Sometimes she'll dash extremely fast, but if you slow her down with the lens, you'll be prepared for it. She caught me off guard at one point and started posing on me. I gotta say, that pose was pretty damn cool. The really cool thing about this fight is you're fighting her under the water. Eventually, she'll pull you out and you'll be fighting on top of the sea. She'll resume the appearance of an old woman and she'll start sending ghosts after you. It's mostly going to be spirits you already fought before, so you already know what to do to deal with them. After they're done, you can start attacking her again, but sometimes the drowned spirit from below will come up and try to bring you down. I do gotta say that I appreciate that this boss is in a bright place, because usually it's in black and white or in a dark place. After you do enough damage to her, she'll bring you under the water, and this is where you'll get your choice. If you Fatal Glance her under the water or on top of the water, your ending will change. Doing it under the water will give you the bad ending. Doing it on top of the water is your good ending. A Fatal Glance her on top of the water because real men love good endings. Touching her reveals to us what happened in the past. While she was a pillar and went inside the black box like the usual, it seems like everyone's suffering was too overwhelming for her, causing the ritual to fail and releasing the black water. Being able to see this tragedy with the Fatal Glance, it makes Yuri cry, and apparently from Ashoka, she hasn't cried in a long time. He was ugly crying so badly, it kinda heals the final boss for her to become normal again. Ren Ancestor, the one who made the Camera of Obscura, Dr. Asu, confessed to his feeling to her. This made her want to live and not die with him instead.
ようやく呪いが解けた気がする。だから私だけで生きます。流れの果てに。あなたが私を見とってくれた。あなたに最後の感情を託せた。あなたに会えてよかった。
With all that done, let's get this out of the way. I think gameplay-wise, this game is the best game in the series, without a doubt. Especially with the ghost encounter, because compared to 4, where they basically did almost nothing, in this game, on the normal difficulty at least, they do a lot of more stuff. They got more utility around them. They have more mechanics. Like, they're more inspired. They're more almost like fantasy. You're fighting a monk who places a flag on the floor that will respawn on it, or a floating woman with water effect going around. It's really enjoyable. Now that the free ammo camera is been nerfed and it takes a while for you to shot again, it's actually just okay now. It's not the best all and all like in Fatal Frame 4, where I would use that for almost the entirety of the game. With the speed alone clears Fatal Frame 4 to me because oh my gosh, it's personally personal taste, but for me, just the fact I can run, breeze through the level, and not walk and slog all over the place is something I'm grateful for this. But what I'm not grateful is with the assassination of Miku's character though. What was going on with that? But let's talk mostly for design because look at the ambers, kinda useless. What's the point of being fully wet and then having more ghosts to appear? Like, it doesn't really do anything because I rarely got like black water on me where I'd lose damage. It was basically not doing much. And let's talk about the design of the spirits. Oh my gosh, they're all hot. Aren't they supposed to be scary? I'm not complaining, but you know, I think it's like it's insane because for Yuko, for example, when she does their thing with her neck, she looks terrifying with her neck like tilting like that, and she could look terrifying. But then you'll see the Shrine Maiden where they're not scary and they're just really super hot models. So it's a bit, I don't know, like it's fighting each other, like it wants to be hot and scary at the same time. But regardless, after seeing that tall woman in the game, I know what I want for our next Fatal Frame game. Look, we talk about spirits of people and stuff like that. Why don't we hit the folklore? Let's go with creepy snake yokai stuff. Like, this would be amazing for this game. Because honestly, seeing her and how she stands out compared to every ghost in this franchise, it's pretty amazing. I want that now. I gotta say, this character switching was less annoying in this game because 2 characters shares the upgrades now. And there's only 1 character you have to worry about, and regardless. They're not sharing all the same spirit points. The thing I like with this game, like, it feels more arcadey than anything, which some people won't like, but this is the best game where you can just pick up and play and then close. It's really that fun. I think in the replay value, this game does the best in this series. Only in the replay value, though. I do have to give it to Fatal Frame 4. Maybe the doctor stuff with the syndrome going on was way more interesting now, because every game starts feeling the same when you see a seal that broke and everyone died, you know? Regardless, here's my tier list. I know not everyone's gonna be agree with this, but I truly like this tier list. Ain't nothing beating Fatal Frame 3 for me. Even though that game is not perfect, I like it a lot. The only game I can see going higher is Fatal Frame 1 because these ghost battles in the first game, maybe at the time when I first started, wasn't as fun, but now that I'm used to the series and know what to expect, maybe it'll go higher. Probably. But yeah, for our next Fatal Frame game, like a new game, not a remake, I would really like to hit the folklore stuff or anything that's like, wow, what the heck is this now? That's what I want to do. Oh, and here's this character tier list. I think it makes sense. I put some characters that I know and love in there, but Miku's going in D because she likes jumping on her brother's